Be back in a couple of minutes.
No worries, mate. I can hear something coming through the YouTube channel.
What are you hearing?
Us.
Okay.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, I can
How's that,
see.
guys? Pretty sure you'll hear us now. It helps if I unmute us.
I can hear.
You
Can't
can
be
hear
in
on
there.
on YouTube.
No.
Yeah, we can hear you on
Now
YouTube.
we can.
Yep, it is working on YouTube.
It is.
Yep.
All right, that's good. We're off.
Pete's saying it's perfect now too, so that's good. Yep. Sorry guys, I spent the day setting up Wavelink and then forgot to push the unmute button at the end of the ads. Live and learn. How are we all anyway?
Yeah, doing well.
Yep, doing well.
Very good.
Good, Andrew.
Fairly special round this one, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, very
Anybody
special round.
throw some words in?
To point out the fact that the walk is still currently happening. In fact, it'll be finishing soon. So it is a very special round for the Balin Stewart Foundation and for everyone at Vets. John mentioned it last night that for every car that is seen on screen with Bin the Blade for Balin or the Balin Stewart Foundation logo on the car, that the Vets will be donating $3 to the foundation. So that's a great cause, and it's a great reason to get behind it as well. This circuit, though, well, it's definitely a controversial one, gentlemen. It's one that really tests drivers, and it's either I feel like it's a place that you either love it or you hate it, and that then translates to how you attack this track during the race as well. I mean, obviously starting on the main straight, turn one, very difficult, very, very difficult first corner at this circuit, very easy to run it wide into the sand trap. And with that new debris system, very easy to drag sand back onto the track, right onto the racing line, which can then throw up a heap of drivers as they come up towards Estoril for turn 3 as well.
Yes, this is a tricky track, and I actually hate the track. I've only been on it once, but that's probably why. I haven't had enough time on it to get to know it. So hopefully next time around I'll do better and get better at it.
Yeah, I was the same, Mark. I knew we'd been here, and it turns out it was once, and yeah, it just took me a long time to even get to a point where I thought I could finish a race, you know. So yeah, I hear you.
Oh, it's also like it's quite tricky because there's a lot of undulation changes, big change of directions as well. I mean, multiple 180 degree corners around this place. Obviously, fast run down towards Adelaide at turn 5. Easy to blow the engine down there at the end of the straight if you're just too quick down the gears. Same as well into 7 and 8 for the Nürburgring chicane. And a couple of spots we might find some action tonight. Obviously at Adelaide, where we could see some big passing opportunities, but also opportunities for cars to go off track, but as well at 180 for turn 9, which can often see drivers actually have those slow, very painful spins where there's not much you can do about trying to catch the car. It's decided it's going around and you're going to be facing the wrong way on exit.
Yep. It was tricky to get the power down out of that corner.
It's one of those corners that just throws a lot of struggles at you because you're trying to carry that mid-corner speed and really just tickle the throttle as you come around. But with these cars, I don't know if they really like tickling too much. I think they more prefer having a punch on with you if they can. But if you can get a good exit out of there, you can set yourself up well for Imola down at 12 and 13, and then up at Chateau d'Eu for turn 14 as well. Probably one of few passing opportunities around here. Your best spots is at turn 5 and turn 14 because it's under brakes. It's a heavy hairpin that you can try and sneak your way up the inside. And again, if you can have a good exit off 14, which is a struggle because if there's gravel that's been brought on the track down there or you're slightly too early on the power, you can very easily lose the rear end and either go to the left or the right of the track, but it will set you up for a passing opportunity at 15 if you can get alongside for Lachi Pin towards the end of the track as well.
Yeah, I hear what you mean about the new cars. They seem to react quite well to a little bit of aggression, don't they?
They
is
do.
it just me?
No, I do think you really just have to be willing to send it. and it will respond nicely. It doesn't particularly like easing your way in. You have to kind of just dive in at the deep end from time to time.
Yeah, what not so much here, but definitely at Brands Hatch, I felt like if I really, G'd myself up and had a crack, it responded to it quite nicely. It
The
was
same
more
with
me,
Watkins
it
as
was
well.
more me that could only do it for one lap than half a dozen. But yeah, it definitely reacted to it quite nicely, I thought.
Yeah, it was the same with Watkins at the start of the season as well. Obviously, both the start of the iRacing season and the V8 Vet season too. That first week,
and tracks we all know fairly well too.
yeah, and like actually being able to ride on the rear tires of this car, which it needs if you want to try and go fast, just actually letting the car get that slip angle and just trying to hold it as it comes through a fast corner, because you will get pace out of it if you can do that. It also boosts your confidence as well, obviously, but I think like next week, especially for the Nürburgring, you're either going to have to be tentative or you're going to have to learn how to ride this thing on the rears to get the most out of the lap, and with other tracks later in the calendar too. This one though in particular, if you can ride the rears through turn 3 and even through some of the chicanes and really attack those chicanes as well, you can come off the betterment of it. But this is a place where if you're a millimeter out of line, you can very easily lose the car, end up in the wall or end up in the sand trap as well.
Yeah, and that last complex also being the pit entry, definitely a nasty little spot.
And we need to watch out for drivers going wide at 15 and then bringing the sand back onto the track right on the entry line into the pit lane, because we could see some drivers coming in a bit hotter than expected and then actually speeding in the lane because they haven't been able to pull it up in time because of the gravel.
Yep.
Regardless, how did everyone feel about this track coming into this week? Learning, I know a lot of drivers were either learning this track for the first time or reminding themselves of how to actually attack this place.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern with this car is I'm still trying to lose the muscle memory from the old car and coming into a new track where I'd never been. It was, a long process.
Yeah,
I
feel
didn't
the
mind the
same
track.
there, Mark.
I
What's that,
didn't
mate?
mind the track. The slowdowns were brutal.
Yeah, I think I got one early on, and I think that might have, AJ might have almost tagged me on that one, but we'll see what happens there.
Well, we can run through the grid. It's an absolutely cracking time from Mark Houghton in pole position, a 141.714. That would have been good enough to get him, I think, within the top 10 of the split 2. Brian Minogue just misses out on pole position by an absolute whisper in P2 on the road. Andrew Rushworth, Ben Brook, the second row of the grid. Russell Uren, the champion of Split 4 last season, finds his way in P5 for WKMP Sim Sports. Brenton O'Brien alongside him. In P6, Bruce McLeod, the race control aficionado, formerly race controller of Split 3, races in Split 3 this season. He starts at a P7 ahead of Michael Quain. In P8, Matt Monday and Brent Horsell will make up your top 10. Craig Healy, Scott McKenzie on your 6th row of the grid. A very hotly contested top 12 cars on the grid. Could either go one of two ways, gentlemen. It's either going to be contested and clean, or it's going to be contested and feisty off the first couple of laps, with Craig Healy, Scott McKenzie, James Boardman, and Michael Yeo trying to chase them down in behind. Wade Reynolds, Glenn Boyce as well, Reg James, Peter Kelleher, Roy Clark, Simon Farrington, your top 20, with Aidan Rice and Jason Dunn for your top 22 cars on the grid. We then had Fletcher Christensen and Tim Lawson for your 12th row, with Peter Vermey, Robert Crow of your top 26, with Ed Cullen, Justin Wood, the big man himself, AJ, in P29, with Alex Kiddas in P30, Michael Hayes and Joseph Granshaw for P31 and P32, Michael Koroleff and Mark Dial out of your top 34 positions on the grid. And in behind them, we had our race controllers and non-time setting drivers in James Cormick and Dave Gallion, as well as Dave Norris, or Daniel Norris, I do believe. But our race controllers were Ty Delaney and Joe Mahoney. Not sure who the third one was for this round.
Daniel Norris, I think. Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe they joined as a watcher. Who knows?
Anyway, get rid of the grid.
It'd be very hard starting on the corner right back there.
Yeah, where you got that camera angle, my car was actually facing so that it would cut that off. And I'm thinking, oh, great, how am I going to get this? Do I cut this off or do I try to get around the corner neatly? I could just see it ending in tears.
Right, with a little bit of luck. I think it started to try and run before, so I'm just hoping the timing still works when we fire it back up.
It should work if you've paused it. It should be fine.
Yeah, I think it should be. But yeah. Now, where did I want to go? Yeah.
You've got to say there were some nice liveries out there for the bin and blade. The well done, guys.
I mean, ideally, you would hope that the entire 200 drivers, or however many showed up this round, had it on the car, so we can try and make as much money as possible for such a great cause.
Yeah, Brett did a fantastic job of ours, and away we go. Oh, slow starter on the inside.
Shocking start for Mark.
3 wide.
Heap of
Whoa.
positions.
Oh, there's a
Quite
car
a few
around.
running wide. That's why there was so much gravel when I got there.
I was about to say, that's what we talked about. Drivers going right wide at turn 1 and then ending up bringing that gravel back on the road is it's going to make for an interesting race, being it's lap 1 of 46 already. It was a great start though from Brian off the line. He really got the power down in that SLS Camaro. Mark unfortunately just, I don't know, maybe been caught napping a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of drivers still trying to learn how to launch the car. I know I'm one.
There was a couple of drivers who actually had good launches though. Boardman now up 6 inside the top 10. Rice up 6, Dunn up 5, and Dawson up 6 as well inside the top 20. So there were some drivers who took advantage of some poor starts from others out on the grid.
Yeah, that I must admit the new car, when you do get the launch right, feels really nice. It sort of squats down, grips up, and goes. Yeah, feels better than the old one when you get it right. Well done to Mark Horton too, for the pole position. It's awesome.
Yeah, he did very, very well. I said it was a great time. I'm fairly sure that would have been definitely inside the top 15, if not the top 10 in split 2 with that time. So that's a cracking effort from him.
Brian said it's on a 1.3.
Yeah, he started to run away with it a little bit. O'Brien started to also gain some, or trying to gain some time on your end, but he's got a massive train in behind. It's Roy Boy trying it up the outside. Roy. Surprised he's actually gone this long without getting it into the sand. Come round 180, we can see that Healy and Rice can have to try and work together to make their way up further inside the top 15. How was your start, Mark, at the back of the field? What was it like having to traverse through all the chaos at turn 1 and turn 2?
Actually, I got through it quite well. Because I took it really, really easily. Probably a little too easy. But yeah, it's
Sometimes that's the best mindset to have. Just take it a little bit easier than you normally would, and you'll come off the better.
yeah, I could see some, cars spreading out 3 wide and running out the corner. I'm thinking, all right, well, we'll just really back this off. If I lose a couple of spots, I'll probably make them up later on.
Yeah. I've only lost a spot off the starting, Jono, but Reg in front of you, he's been one of the major losers. He's down 12 with Reynolds down 13 in front of him as well, so they've both dropped together.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I
that's,
think
right. That's what was on my mind. How is the engine noise and that sort of thing out there on YouTube and YouTubers?
I actually think it's pretty much perfect, Jono.
Yeah,
Good.
we did do a little test. I thought it was about right myself, but
Yeah, it's
just
pretty
thought I'd
good.
check.
I think the main test is how loud they are inside the cars if you cut to the in-car shots or something.
Yeah, it's always a bit louder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you really want that cone there, Andrew? Because you took it with you for a bit. Yeah. Now I know why he was doing so well.
He had a bit of ballast on the front end to let it turn in. That taking your time off the start seems to have worked well for you, Mark. You're up 3 spots already, and just trying to keep ahead of Jono and the rest of the boys in behind you as well. It's good.
Yeah, I think Greenshaw and Callagher, they come back. I think they might have been involved in that turn 1. I think Reg was out there in the weeds too.
Peter Gallagher down 18.
Apparently he had a black flag for a jump start, then a black flag for speeding in the pit lane, and then a pit lane penalty for tagging Reg as well, all in the first 5 laps apparently, so not the best start to his night.
Horrible start.
Sorry to hog the start with AJ Arcast, but I've obviously missed the incident that I had my name up before.
Oh, that's alright. That's okay.
It's a long race.
Oh. Someone let. Is that Simon coming through? Trying to?
Yeah, he's trying to find his way through the field. Justin's had a good start actually. He's up 8 as well as Alex Kiddas in behind them. They've done well. Hope Justin's car can stay a bit cleaner than Vaughan's did. After he lost the front end in split 4.
Michael Glenn trying to put the pressure on Russell.
I suppose this is now the big pressure test for Russell because he's starting so far up, he's having to actually battle a lot of drivers who previously been in split 2 or even split 1 in Michael Quain's case as well. So this is really like a sink or swim scenario for him.
That little bump after the hairpin made it hard to get the power down.
Yeah, a few people lost it through there. A nice lead now, Brian has.
Yeah, he's definitely, if he can get into some clean air, he's definitely one of those drivers that will just start to run away with it. He's done it previously in split 2 and even here in split 3 as well. So he's he's one that you've got to be cautious of if if you let him get any space whatsoever, he will take it and he will create more for himself. You can see Tim coming up and around the first couple of corners. How much stress does that final few through turn 15, 16 and 17, how much stress does that actually put on you the longer the race goes on? Because obviously it's a section that you're coming off of a very tight hairpin, a little burst of throttle, and then you're trying to get your way through the chicane with as much pace as possible. How much is that really working you throughout the race?
Yeah, it's pretty. I was mindful not to hit too much of that last curve, the last in the chicane, because I did get quite a few slowdowns and off tracks and stuff through practice and that. So I just thought, well, we can keep it off the curves. If I'm a little bit slow through there, I'm going to be a little bit slow. Well, a little slide off track.
Tim took did a bit of lawnmower.
You're gonna get a Jim's Mowing sponsorship going for Team AJR, Andrew, just to match that sort of driving habit.
The other thing I was mindful of at that last chicane was how close the start finish line was.
Yeah, it's quite funny how the start line is halfway up the straight, but the finish line is literally just around the corner.
Because clearing a slowdown would have been really not on the cards.
No, and that has caught some drivers out before. It's similar to the Charlotte Roval, where if you get that slowdown off that last chicane, it can be pretty much
I think
over.
you were wise, Mark, to show a bit of caution through there, because I was the same during practice. It wasn't hard to pick up a slowdown, and they were reasonably savage ones.
Yeah.
The same as if you bounced off it too much, you run the risk of spinning out. You're hitting the
exactly,
wall.
and nose straight into the wall.
And I was watching the guys last night just attack it like there was no tomorrow. Huh? Wow.
There's definitely faster ways of getting through there than how I was doing that section. I think I heard someone say I'm not sure where it was, must have been the Split 4 broadcast, someone said something about you could get it right one lap and not the next, and I knew exactly what he was saying, because I was quite pleased to hold it together for the entire race, actually, because I didn't do it that often regularly during practice.
Especially if you're really close to someone, you can't actually see it when you're trying to come around through it.
Yeah, if you're in a nice gaggle of cars.
And poor Robbie's had a tough start to this race, down 9 spots. Missed last week due to some internet issues, so not the return to the series he would have hoped for. This worries me that you've sat on him for so long, AJ, because it makes me think that he's about to have something worse happen to him.
He's just admiring
I must
the paint.
admit I'm starting to wonder why I stayed on for so long too. Hopefully it wasn't just a quick brief run off into the grass like Tim before.
Just admiring the paint.
Apparently improving the paint as well, Luke. I'm fixing my mistakes in the spec map. I didn't do the spec map correctly originally, so that's currently getting fixed.
Robert Crow had a lot of pace in split too, also.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him. He got a bit of a bung knee for a while, and I don't know, he's just trying to get some good luck back into him. So hopefully as the season goes on, he gets a little bit more luck and continues to try and fight further and further back up the field and fight back in the split 2 as well.
Oh, he's doing.
Oh, there you go. That's why.
Yeah, that little bump in the road can cause havoc.
Next.
Ooh. I actually really like James Cormack's paint. I do find this quite nice on the Camaro.
It looks smart, doesn't it? Like yeah, it's nice and bright and vivid and
Exactly. I've been a big believer for a long time, although I do think the liveries have been getting better and better in vets because they are starting to look more and more like race cars as the seasons go on, which I can really appreciate because it's nice when you're out there and you're racing around people and everything just looks nice and smart and proper and really, really well put together. I love seeing that sort of stuff. In the chat with us, Russell Uren is to racing what Roy Clark is to crash. The old Bulldog. Is that like how Baldock is to finishing behind Van Ree? Is that what you are in that scenario, Dave?
Oh, yeah, grass.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that Dave Baldock knew who I was going to next.
He knows the secrets, AJ. He's definitely watched this race before.
Only a matter of time.
Yeah, very true.
What did everyone think about the tyre wear for this track?
It wasn't too bad. But then saying that, my lap times were pretty slow, so probably wasn't overheating them and killing them off like everybody else was. And having issues like that.
Oh, you won't wear your tyres out there.
You cool them down though. Don't know whether that still works.
Only on a rainy day at Pukekohe, I think.
Oh, someone bring a grab on.
Like a meteor shower when you're behind that.
Yeah. But it was good not to have it as bad as last week.
Yeah, that's pretty bad at Brands Hatch, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's going to be a big
It added
slide
another
on.
element to it all, didn't it? But it is good to see that it's not like that at every track.
The interesting one will be the week after at Belle Isle. See how much gravel we get there.
Oh, don't worry. Someone will find a way to get concrete particles onto the road.
It'd be mainly just the first couple of corners that would be bringing the gravel onto the road. Everyone cutting the corner.
Hey, Bruce had some really good pace this week. He put a lot of practice in.
he joined back racing there, Mark, is he?
Michael Crane in the pits.
Got a feeling I missed whatever happened with Bruce, but we'll move on.
Mustn't have been that important.
He went off the track on the just before the last chicane. So everyone should be pitting in the next lap or two.
Yeah, I think I got 15 laps before I pitted.
Appears that Quaney just, I don't know what's happened to him. Is he just like dropped off over the last 2 seasons, or has he been busy, or?
Not sure.
Will's asking us if we've fallen asleep in commentary. No, we haven't fallen asleep. We're trying to let the cars do the talking. That's what it is. It just seems that we're really getting to that point of the race now. You're trying to get into that rhythm, trying to stick to that rhythm as well, and actually just keep the car clean, because this is one of those tracks that you can break your rhythm very easily, and it can put you off quite quickly. As I think Minogue and Houghton are into the pit lane, as is some of the other top 5, but O'Brien's kept going and is obviously looking for an alternate strategy, maybe going slightly longer to make it past the critical lap of lap 24 later in the race.
Yeah, Michael Crane and Russell pitting early. See if they can get the undercut.
It's a smart strategy by them. Galley also comes in. So we are swiftly into pit stop territory now, as Michael Yeo comes around turn 1, trying to stick with Matt Monday here, fresh up from split 4 last season. Here's Mr. Monday, so he's looking to get back up the rise and get back into split 2 at some point. They've got Ben Brook just ahead of them as well. Jono, you're up 21 spots into the top 10, but you need to take your pit stop. You're trying to go... Just
Trying to be a legend, mate. Trying to be a legend.
Try and get along and hope for a safety car and an absolute wondrous strategy play, or...
Hey, well, what happened with the session today? I thought you checked all that sort of thing.
He checks the race sessions. He doesn't check the practice sessions.
I'm only winding him up.
Oh, no.
It was weird because it was there and then it just disappeared.
That is weird.
More or less, like, we can see up ahead that Ben's just trying to get this job done on you, Jono, but you're not making it easy for him. You're definitely, you're a bit of a restless sheep up there as he's trying to shear you at the moment. As just seen that Russell Uren has actually come out of the pit lane in P1 on the road and actually leads his first lap of this race as well.
Can we have a look at the pit stops there, AJ?
Yep, just a sec.
Oh, Mr. McLeod's giving us a bit of an inside tip here. Apparently Michael's PC is about to go bang in 3, 2, 1, however long it is. So, unfortunately for Michael, it appears that he's actually about to drop out of this battle, and he would also drop out of this race.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which has been an issue that's been plaguing a lot of sim races, not just vets, but a lot of sim races for a little while now. It's just either PCs not being able to handle iRacing or just not being able to handle their own output, especially after long races as well, or if they stream at the same time too, it can really take a massive hit on your computer and on your usage as well. So it's one thing to always keep in mind when you are sim racing, because, well, as a lot of us would know, you're not exempt to those literal mechanical failures on the rig itself. You know, even though we're not driving real cars, we can have those mechanical failures, whether it's pedals, wheels, or even PCs as well.
Or even just the internet cutting out.
Yeah, that's like going to the fuel station and they've got no fuel left for you. Sorry, no racing for you.
Yeah, sorry, what did we want? Some fuel strategies, did we?
Yes, please, AJ.
Just let's see how long or short their times were in the pit lane. Because Russell has surely taken a, well, that's, I don't think that's what we meant, AJ. I think we meant the actual how long their pit stop was, which you can find on your actual timing tower.
Rusty. Yeah.
Massive pressure at the moment from Brian, isn't he? Again, this is that coming of age, or that proper test that is being put on him now, having to drive these guys that have previously been in a higher tier who have still got their pace, but they've naturally fallen down the order as the measuring stick has changed over the last 2 seasons.
He's doing well to keep his composure, though.
He's doing very, very well. And that's one of those tough things about it, is just keeping that composure, keeping yourself in check and making sure that you are able to drive at 100%, but also actually, you know, test yourself or remain at this high level. It's an incredibly tough task. Hello, Mr. Viger.
Oh, hello. I was just trying to watch. I didn't realise it jumped right into the room.
It does.
How are you, Rick?
I'm good. And you guys?
Very well.
Yeah, not bad. How you going, Rick?
Yeah, good.
Hey, Rick.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to disappear for a bit and my manager rang up, so it fucks me up when he does that.
Oh, that's all right, mate. We'll forgive you. Did you at least bring the hall pass back?
No, I've actually got a habit of leaving that in my pocket, like the fuel card for the truck. I did that. Oh, God.
There's some pit times there now, guys, I think.
Yeah, mate, we got that. Oh, yeah, so yeah.
Oh, Brian's got a big jump.
Yeah, he's gone long. He went 10 seconds longer than Russell did. And Mark did the same thing, so they'll definitely be on a better strategy later in the race, especially if there's safety cars as well, because if they can pit under safety car and get that 10-second advantage, that's going to pay massive dividends for them in gaining back these positions. But what's important for them, though, is there's actually a safety car within the next 6 laps, because it means that no one can pit and make it home. And it means that if it forces the pit stop under green, that they're going to get a better advantage out of it when they do come out of the pit lane.
So we should see Mark come out in second.
Yes. Yeah, we should. We should. He would be provisional P2 at the moment. If they can get that safety car in the next 5 or 6 laps and it goes green before the critical lap, it should mean that they're nice and close. And if they were to come in, that they'd actually then still get their net gain out of it. So you can see Justin just in behind Roy. Not to self-plug, new livery on his car though for the remainder of the season. Hopefully it makes him go faster. Russell is
Very nice.
Thank you. As Russell's still under pressure from Brian though, so I'm sure Brian's smart enough. He knows he's got an advantage, and he knows that he's just going to sit behind Russell, let him drag him forward, and he'll get the position back in the pit stop.
So Bruce was having an issue where he wasn't getting 100% throttle.
Yeah. I've had that before. I've also had it where if you just rest your foot on the brake pedal, it then applies a little bit of pressure. And that'll make you go a little bit slower as well. So, important thing when you're calibrating your pedals, make sure you give yourself a little bit of breathing space at the end of the pedal where you can rest your foot on it and it doesn't apply it.
I was having that issue when I first started, not realising I was sitting my foot on the brake.
It's just as simple as not lifting all the way off when you end the calibration.
With the Simworks pedals, they actually tell you to screw the thumbnail down a turn and a half, set it up in iRacing, and then back it off that turn and a half again, and that gives you a little free, bit of free play there.
Yeah.
Dead spot, really.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't the calibration, there was movement in the top of his pedal. That was what was affecting the load cell. So it actually had some play in it, and that was what was not getting the full throttle.
That would be messy, yeah. I'm driving around a little problem with my throttle sensor at the moment, to be honest. Every now and then you put your foot down, there's just nothing there, and then I've had it a couple of times it's gone the other way and actually jammed on coming into a corner, which is not a lot of fun.
I've had that issue before where I'll lift the pedal off, but it will still read a little bit of throttle. So then I have to actually curl my toes around the top and pull it all the way back to make sure it is actually turned off. Mr. McKnight in the chat with us. Welcome in, Jamie.
Yeah, I was just going to say, g'day, Jamie. Good to have you here.
We were saying as well, you should build dead zones in at either end, each end of the pedal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one thing that I know I learned a while ago is you have that little bit of dead zone at the end of the pedal, so you don't have to go all the way to the end to get to full throttle. You can just set it to 80%, and then you've got full throttle fairly easily.
Yeah, that's how I've got my pedals set.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my dead zone is, or when my pedals are actually set up, is about 10% in is off, and then it turns on, and then it's 80% throttle is full throttle, and there's a little bit of dead zone at the end. STO still having to work to get this job. Oh, he's just sitting behind his teammate Bruce, actually trying to get the job done on Aiden as they come into turn 5. Maybe a little bit of team play. No, just has to slot back in behind. Well, Michael then would have been hoping that Bruce may have just dabbed the brake a little bit off the exit just to hold Aiden up, and he could just sneak on past him.
Can only hope.
Oh, he's around.
Yeah, Yowie was having some screen and frame rate issues most of this race. You're saying that was a screen freeze all locked up on him.
Mike, with a little bit of damage on the front.
Yeah, both the last 2 rounds, just before qualifying and only in the vet sessions, I've had cars dropping in and out, just looking at them in the pit lane, like when I'm out of the car. So, and the meter on the C meter goes skyrocketing. But it hasn't actually. It still has like I'm still getting 140 frames per second while all that's going on. As soon as I get in the car, it clears itself and comes right. Hasn't actually caused me any problems.
Oh, touch of the grass.
I safe rejoin.
Robbie's still trying to make a bit of a comeback at the moment. Still no safety cars just yet though, just off the halfway point of this race, so everyone's keeping it nice and tidy, but I do feel as Robbie spins around a bit too much throttle. Very lucky he didn't hit that tyre barrier. My wallet is very happy about that one. So let's keep on going. But yeah, I think the fatigue's really going to start to set in later in this race, because this track takes a lot out of you the more green laps you are doing in a row, and especially with more gravel coming on the track, we've already seen drivers make mistakes at this point. I think it's only going to get worse as this race goes on.
Yeah, Speed 1 we had no safety cars, and by the end I was so buggered. There was no time to rest.
Yeah.
Especially crazy Kiwis out there. It's probably about almost 11 or midnight by now.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're close behind someone else, it's very hard to pick up your braking points. Makes it even worse.
I think the other thing that might have caught a lot of people out too this week, they only had a week to prepare for this track.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was a different story with the Brands Hatch, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
And I think the same next week with running a track that's different to the official one, and then the official one isn't one that we're super used to either. So, yeah, I looked at it today and was sort of, you're basically forced to learn 2 tracks next week.
Michael in a tightly contested battle with Peter Verme and Michael Hayes just ahead of him as well, as Ren still leads the way. We had that very, very quick pit stop earlier in the race, so right now he is hoping and praying that it stays green until critical lap so he can come in and get an advantage off of this shorter pit stop earlier in the race, because he does not want to do it under safety car because he will get chewed up by the whole field. Well, I say by the whole field, but by cars who were faster than him or slower than him in the pit stop.
If he comes in a little bit earlier, he might be able to undercut.
Yeah, exactly. Just get out there, get some good pace under the car as well.
Is that a car off to the side there?
Yeah, there is.
Turn around.
There was one of the lap traffic cars further back.
No safety car, it has spread the field out a bit.
It certainly did.
It's quite a quiet in-car sound.
Well, that's all right then.
I stuck to the left coming out of there, so I'd missed the bump.
It's definitely a sound strategy to have, as Mark is hot on the heels of Brenton. I must say, that Evolution racing car is one of my favourite liveries I've seen on the Gen 3 car. It's absolutely gorgeous. We start lap 25, so we're now past critical laps, and meaning that these drivers can now get home from this point in the race if they come into pit lane and take their next pit stop. How was the tyre wear at this track though? How long were those tyres sort of settling themselves in and getting settled for the majority of the race?
I didn't really think they were too bad, even after I did 15 laps in that first stint, and they were that bad.
Oh, after 15 laps, my tyres were wrecked.
Yeah, but you go twice as fast as I do.
I just had lock up here and a lock up there, and your tyres were just shot.
If you slide them, they certainly go off quick, but if you look after them, they can hang in there. But I haven't really found any pace in this car yet, so that might be why they're hanging in there.
I'd normally push hard for a couple of laps and then take it easy for a lap or two to cool them back down.
Well, we've even had the official word. Mrs. Jace come all the way up from the house to the shed to tell me that the sound sounds good.
Oh, that's good.
It's
That was
official.
nice. Michael Crane in.
Queenie's come in early, so we'll see how this stop goes for him and if he can undercut any of the field.
Yeah, that was Dave Galley sitting off the side there. He was having some wheel issues.
So Lawson saying tyre wear is brutal if you push turns 2, 5 and 7. So pretty much the one of the hairpins and some of the faster paced corners as well.
Hello to you all too, Dane. A pleasure to have you all watching on.
Fantastic to have you guys here watching along with us.
You come in for the early pit stop also, AJ.
Yeah, I can't remember why I came in early. I got a funny feeling. I thought there was going to be a safety car or something, and I pitted. Can't remember. I know I went in earlier than I intended to, and then decided it wouldn't matter.
Klein putting a lot of pressure all over Russell.
Mr. Hayes, is Korolev going to go for it? Not quite close enough. They come round 180. We haven't seen too many of those slow spins that I mentioned to this corner, but it is becoming a one-line corner with some of that gravel on the edge of the track as well.
Very close racing.
Off in the chat saying struggle with this track, might be losing that thing called talent. Care to comment, Mr. Dial?
No, obviously.
Good.
No, not losing talent. As I said before, it's what are we, 3 weeks in, and we're still learning a new car. So
Yeah, and it's not an easy car to learn, is it? Like,
no.
the last car was the hardest car on the service to drive, and learning this thing is just as big of a challenge as well.
And I have climbed up 10 places in the race, so I think I'm doing fairly well by not pushing it, over pushing the car.
No, just keeping clean and consistent.
And I would like Moser to come out with their active pedals really, really soon. I'd like to get rid of these V3s to get a bit long in the tooth.
Yeah. I think as well, we have to shout out some of those drivers inside the 10. Obviously, we're before the second stop for those guys, so we don't really know where they situate until they've had their next stop. But, you know, Boyce up 6 inside the 10, Rice up 9 just outside, Russell's up 4, Brenton's up 3, Monday's up 2, Craig Healy up 3, but Boardman up 8 inside the top 5. It's a hell of an effort from those guys to get up positions either into the 10 or inside the top 10 if they started there. As Minogue finally gets the job done on Russell Uren. So we now have who our provisional leader was, back in the lead of the race, and unfortunately for Russell, his advantage has now gone out the window over Brian, and he will probably drop back a couple more seconds than he would have hoped.
Russell's in the pits.
Yep, so he's finally taken that stop. So I have to wonder maybe if he ran wide, that's what let Brian past, and now he's had to just come in because the tyres are starting to wear. Vermeer's just starting to drop some time on Mike Kerri-lyn at the moment. Everyone's started to spread out because, again, they're just trying to keep those tyres in check and keep themselves in check as well, and make sure they do actually make it to the checkered flag of this race, which have gone green for 29 laps, nearly 30 laps of this race. We've had no safety cars just yet, no major incidents, so probably
Yeah, it's
quite lucky.
pretty much 2/3 of the way, isn't it? So
Yeah.
they're on this at the end of their tyre life for the second stint, sort of thing.
Exactly, as Mr. Reynolds comes out of pit lane just ahead of these guys, so he's now down 8 spots, but he should still have a net gain once the pit stops are done and dusted, and should still be up positions in this race. As Vermeer is still trying to get this job done on Kerri-lyn, who's had a great run up 9 spots. He has got the war wounds on the front of that car though, so these guys are looking to have a good battle towards their second pit stop. Bit of darting across the road. Kerri-lyn tries to cover the outside. Vermeer up the inside, not close enough at turn 5. So he's really proving, is Peter, that why this track is so difficult to get overtakes done and actually make these moves, and actually having to push to try and get these moves done. As you can see in the background, the leaders are actually starting to catch these guys as well.
Ooh,
They're catching them now.
Definitely
just
catching
stopped.
them now.
Just stopped on track there.
Yeah, that's all for being chivalrous and trying to give the position back, but that's actually a dangerous spot to stop. Right in the middle of the track to wait for someone. He probably would have been better off just rolling on and then letting Michael pass at a better spot, because he could have gotten in the way of the leader then. It's a good thing that he made sure that he kept the spot, but just keep it rolling maybe, because that could have ended really badly. There's O'Brien has still got Mark out and hot on his heels as they run down towards turn 15 and then the final little chicane complex to start their 30th lap of the race, or 31st lap of the race, I should say. Brian Minogue has now taken is actually in pit lane, I should say. Completely missed that. So O'Brien now takes the lead, gets himself an extra point for leading a lap. And we should see Minogue have a good little net gain over Russell Uren, who we saw was in the lead earlier. He's dropped all the way back to P11. I would expect Brian to come out probably around about maybe that P7 mark. He's only just coming out of pit lane now as Boardman comes in. He's actually going to be even higher. He's still inside the top 5, so that's a great run from him.
That's about 15 seconds.
Yeah, remembering he had the 10-second gain naturally through the pit stop as well, so he gave up time in the first stop to then have the gain in this one, and it's actually worked out in his favour. So we should see Mark come out in a very similar position when he takes his pit stop as well, barring a speeding in pit lane penalty.
Where if he pitted early, he might be able to come pretty close to Brian.
Oh, he did have a couple of seconds in behind him, so Mark's probably actually better just following Brenton and getting dragged forward at the moment. Is Brian back in the lane? He is. No, he's not. He's kept going. Okay. Ben Brook has though come back in. For his second stop of the race, so we'll probably see him come out around, I would say, Russell to the back end of the top 10. As yourself, Mr. Dial is under pressure from Wade Reynolds at the moment, but you're up 13 spots. Is it unlucky for you, or is it only unlucky for some?
Nah, I can't remember really what happened here. I knew Wade was behind me. I think I'm closing in on the pit stop.
Either that or I've missed it. Okay, for some reason I'm picking up all the guys that are going into pits. I don't know what I'm doing.
Brian setting the fastest time.
He's definitely got some proper pace about him. Although he's about 20 seconds back off of Mark Outen, so should definitely come back out in the lead. The question is, though, does Brenton come out ahead of Mark? Or does Mark stay ahead of Brenton after their pit stops as well?
How long is the pit travel time? Do you know?
Oh, it's not necessarily about the travel, it's about the difference between the travel and the stop. Normally, most tracks on average are a 30 to 35 second net loss in the pit lane. But it can be different depending on your actual pit stop time. So, Mark may not lose 30 odd seconds. He might only lose 20 seconds because his time's also going to be faster, so it's quite a balancing act to
Yeah, he's going to come out in front of Brenton.
if there's a safety car, it is absolutely game on at this point. With 13 laps to go, we've gone green this whole time, so the pressure's going to be on those leaders if the safety car does get called, because they're not going to be. They're going to be in their rhythm. It's going to be a complete juxtaposition of you're tired, you're fatigued, your rhythm's all of a sudden been broken, and you're just trying to get going again and get back up to pace with those guys hot on your tail once again. Monday's just struggling for grip in behind Horsell and Rushworth. Horsell still needs to take his next stop of the race, so these guys are just trying to fight forward, stay inside the top 10. It's been a good race from Matt. He's going to be right where he started when Brett comes in, and Healy's going to actually gain a position as well. He'll get inside the top 10 when that happens as well.
Yeah, James Boardman's doing all right. 7.
How's Roy Clark doing? From memory. What lap are we on? 35. Because he's just come out of his couple of laps out of the pit stop.
Oh, Tim.
Damn, I missed it. Blew an engine.
Oh, no.
There's that,
The safety car.
there's that safety car I've been waiting on.
Yeah, I was trying to keep quiet while you were talking about it. Somehow I missed it, but yeah, motor went pop. He was gutted.
So it's going to be an 8-lap sprint.
Well, now it's going to be, as I mentioned, pressure on for Brian, Mark and Breton. Russell's going to be licking his lips, hoping these guys have a coming together and open up the door for him. It'd be a great breakthrough performance if he could get onto the podium. At this stage, who do we think our front runners are for driver of the day? Because we're going to have about 8 laps to go when we go green again. And we're going to have to come to the decision at some point.
Yeah, that's a very hard one.
Cool.
Yeah, because I think there's arguments for, obviously, I think for James, for Glenn, Russell as well. He's had a very good race, as well as Brian and Breton too. But Mark's done well as well to stay where he is at the front of the field, especially after that horrible start. It could have ended so badly for him.
Well, we've got 10 laps to see. See what happens. See who can hold out the pressure.
Yeah, of those front runners, James Boardman's up 7. He's probably the biggest mover in the front pack anyway.
Yeah, he took advantage off that start, but he's had to fight to keep that car there. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tough slog to the end for all these guys up the front end of town.
So Tim politely parked off track.
Very, very noble of you, Tim. Very noble of you.
Yeah, I was sorry I missed that actually, but as you'd expect with the engine going, it locked up the rears and off he went.
I think there was a couple of engine blow-ups during the race.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, they blow quite easy, but I must admit I haven't blown one in the UK yet, so it might be.
Well,
I probably meant I'll blow 3 next week. But...
well, everyone said to me through the week, "Oh, you got to do engine braking." So I thought, I just slammed down the gears, and I popped 2 engines in practice and said, "Well, screw your engine braking. I'm not doing it. If it's going to pop engines, that's the last thing I want to happen in the race. I'll take the time hit and finish the race."
Yeah, I got a quick little double downshift going on. I thought I would have popped an engine doing that, but I haven't, so I don't know.
Oh,
Hey,
Mr.
Russell.
Wren.
Yeah,
Russell.
hey, gentlemen, how are we?
No Tinder date tonight?
Worked all day today, mate, and yeah, we were doing the 24-hour, but I got taken out, and Blake got taken out in the first hour of it, so that was that.
No, that's no good.
Nah, never mind. So I thought I'd come home and watch the end of this exciting part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good to have you in here, Russell.
Sorry, mate.
Just saying, good to have you in here.
Thanks, buddy.
No, we
I was
should
getting pretty tired by this stage because I'd had Brian on me for ages, and I knew he'd gone short on the pit stop, so I sort of knew that was going to be short-lived, leading the laps, but it was a good practice to have someone like that behind you.
I think we should be getting wave around soon, shouldn't we?
I think we're watching us have wave around.
Yeah. Because I do know just quietly there's someone who makes a bit of a mistake at the final corner as the safety car's going through there. I know certain Mr. Robert Crow ends up off the track.
Yeah, actually, I was right behind him. I was going to say that. There's someone in front of me lost it on the wave around.
I hope we haven't missed it because I did tell him I'm going to make sure it ends up on the stream.
What split was the safety car from that lost it?
That was, I think...
4.
Yeah, split 4.
Yeah, that was gold.
Good save.
He's
Really
already
good
gone-
save.
We've missed it, AJ. He's already gone past. Oh, what a shame. That's alright though. We can find it later at the end of the broadcast. That's alright.
Well, we all know about it now.
Yeah, we do. We mentioned it. But then he'll claim we didn't see it, so it didn't actually happen.
He was just in front of me. As he went past me, I thought, geez, he's coming, right?
Who did it, Hamish?
Robbie did. So, we can find it at the end. It's alright, it's not as bad as him. It's not as bad as my dad killing the field in under safety car. Alright.
That was Belle, wasn't it?
No, it was Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Yep, he was following Faz around up towards turn 1 and poor Brett Taylor was a sitting duck. Nowhere to go but up. So, anyway, gentlemen,
I haven't seen it.
it'll be on. I'll have to find the broadcast. I'll link it at some point so people can find it. I'll even timestamp it for people as well. But I got to love and leave you, gentlemen. Got to get ready for split 2. Great to be in here with you once again. We'll I look forward to watching from the other side though to see who wins this race. It's looking to be an absolute cracker at the end. So yeah, come watch split 2 when you're done because that's going to be an absolute belter.
No worries, will do, Hamish.
See you, boys.
See you
Cheers,
later.
mate. Thank you.
I remember at this stage thinking, well, it's just going to be a 9-lap sprint now, so...
Yeah, it was a busy 9 laps there. I've got a list in front of me, says there's a bit goes on.
Yeah, well, you bunched up the field again now, so it's pulled
Can we
everything
get-
back together.
I missed the leader.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Brian drove a solid race. He doesn't make too many mistakes, does he?
He's been around for a while. Not saying that you're old, Brenton, but just,
I wasn't worried about my rearview mirror at this stage because Quaney's not afraid to throw it in there.
Did you enjoy this track, Russell?
Yeah, once I got the flow of it, I did. Earlier in the week, I never even driven it before. First few laps, I was like, Jesus. And then I watched Madison's tutorial, and then, you know, as you do, jumped in the car and watched a few of the Split One boys how they were getting around, and then, yeah, that was helped me a lot.
Looks like Michael's putting a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, I think he just gave me a few little taps. And there was only really a few places people were going to pass you, so I'd just focus more on making sure I got a good run onto this straight, and because really the passing points were that hairpin.
Someone talking in the background.
Well, at least we only managed to have one safety car this week, not like Brands Hatch.
yeah.
Seems like most splits were pretty clean racing.
Yeah, this one was pretty good, I thought, with the track. I thought there might be more of them, but there wasn't.
game going through there too, right?
Oof, nice move. Ooh,
Oh,
Oh,
he's out. No.
oh,
Oh,
no. Oh, poor bugger.
oh. Is that you, AJ?
Yeah, I missed it, but yeah, I got a tap from Baz.
It was good to see everyone with the Balin liveries on.
Yeah, they look great, don't they?
Yeah, I think John did ours at WKMP. I thought they looked fantastic, what he did.
It's great.
Obviously,
Great.
RSW did ours, but I sort of left it to the last minute, so it was a bit of a mad rush. But he's done a good job with them, as he always does.
Yeah, I think Hamish was already saying, but geez, some of the cars just look fantastic. Well, most of the cars look fantastic.
Definitely makes it easier when they look like they're meant to look, doesn't it?
100%.
this was an interesting little battle with Pete. And I had a little bit more speed than I did, but I wasn't letting through. I was just going to stick on my line. And that was the biggest thing to it. You just stuck with your race line, and it made it harder for everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete hasn't done too bad after the start he had.
Yeah. A little wiggle there.
You just had to be very patient, didn't you? Like on the corner exits.
Mm.
There's is it Alex? Alex Kidd, isn't it?
Hit us, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a great race.
He was dynamite in that round one at Watkins Glen, but hasn't sort of shown that same pace again. But no doubt he got it there. So yeah, after that first race at Watkins Glen and saw his pace, I was like, gee, he's going to be someone to watch out for.
Probably like me, never driven this track before. Oh, Peter.
Here we go, on the throttle.
Yeah.
Now he's got Baz to contend with.
It's finally broken away from Claney and seeing if we can hunt down Brendan. There's a bit of a role reversal. He chased me around at the end of Brands Hatch for a few laps last week.
But I hope he makes a slight mistake and get on the podium.
Yeah, like to be honest, I was pretty happy with where I was. So I thought if it opens up, it opens up. But I'm certainly wasn't gonna do anything stupid to ruin both our races. The fourth was what I got. Fucking he showed me the same respect last week, so I was like, I'm not gonna. If it's there, but I'm not gonna force it. Like as I said, like I'm really enjoying the racing in Split 3. Like obviously there's so many blokes that are at the same speed. It's sort of doesn't matter where you are. There's always a race within the race, isn't there? So
Yeah, there's battles up and down the field, isn't there? For sure.
Yeah, it makes racing racing.
Oh. Really hot. And Roy.
Right. That had to happen. He's gone a couple of weeks being clean.
And a big smile on my face as I went past.
Oh, did he blow the engine or something?
blew the engine, locked the wheels, and just
It's pretty much exactly the same as what happened to Tim.
and now I got Mike chasing me down.
Up 11, you're doing pretty well, Mike.
Yeah, just sort of. Yeah, as I say, it's just didn't kill the car. Didn't try to kill the car. Up until the Wednesday practice, I wasn't doing all that well. But Wednesday night, I found a little bit, but not much. But it was enough to get it around the track on a full fuel run without doing anything silly with it and blowing an engine. So, yeah.
3 laps to go.
Well, Brian's broken his back, so he's out now. What, 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Like him and Mark definitely, even when practiced during the week, they had the pace all week, and they were only gonna beat themselves. Field wasn't gonna beat them.
You certainly had to pace yourself there, Russell.
Yeah, just probably let them get a bit too much for a gap on those early laps. But I don't know. Like, I felt like I was driving it. You know, I didn't want to push any harder than what I was sort of pushing. So
Yeah, it's hard to pass when you're doing the same lap times and speed as the person in front.
yeah, unless you want to be a dog and do something stupid, but I don't want to be that person.
Give me a couple. Was this? Yeah.
So who's looking forward to Nords next week? I hear a lot of people aren't looking forward to it.
I am.
I don't want it.
Well, I've had a win there in the Gen 2 car. And
Yep.
I have done a serious load of laps there over various cars, so track
I
is
think
no
if you know
stranger
it,
to
you'll
me.
love it, because if you know the track, it's half the battle, isn't it? Like, I know
Yep.
it pretty well. In
I
saying that,
I downloaded it last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I'm enjoying it, as in it seems like a really cool track to drive, but yeah, it's just going to take me a while to learn it. Don't think I've got much time.
I've done a lot of GT4 races there. I don't mind the track.
Final lap.
Oh, and good drive out to 2.1 seconds.
He's had a clean race.
Can't complain about that. Qualified first and commanding win.
He was second. He qualified second.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Oh, Mark was first.
Hayden Rice is first. He's got 20.
No, it's something.
Oh, he's putting a blinder.
Hit the nitrous button.
Yes, not sure what went wrong with the timing there, but Brian's definitely the winner.
And you got to be happy with fourth, Russell. That's a great drive.
Yeah, no, I was. I've had I come second last week and fourth this week. So, no, I was really happy with the fourth, to be honest.
Yeah, congrats to Brian in first and Mark in second, and Brenton was third.
Yep, no, good drive by the boys.
It's really well done. Good race. As you had only one safety car this week, was good.
Who did we think should get the driver of the day?
Oh, that's very hard.
We've got a complete list of finish.
Oh, it's got to be Aiden. He's up 20 and he won. So.
Yeah, it's a weird one, that one.
I think it'd be pretty hard to go past Brian, wouldn't it? The qualified well. Oh, is it allowed to? It's not allowed to be the winner, is it? Or is it?
Oh, we can do whatever we like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I still think James Boardman's done pretty well to be up 6. But
Yeah, I say Boardman. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with James, shall we?
Ooh, a little bit going on in the background there.
I think that was actually me. I was that knackered. I just sort of stopped on the side of the road next to Brendan, and then someone rammed up my bum. I was like, "Oh God, you can still lose points, can't you?" Before everyone's like incident points so quickly.
Yeah, because I don't think the last car had finished.
Yeah, I had a bit of a brain fade there, but I was knackered.
If you went over the incident points after the race is finished, would you get black flagged?
Normally,
I think you do that, yeah.
Yeah, you do, because that's why sometimes when you cross the line, you might finish in, well, I think I did it that night, actually. You might cross the line in 28th, and as you're doing your inlet, it drops down to 26th, and it's because a couple of the guys that have just crossed the line have just run over incident points, normally. Anyway, congratulations to James on driver of the day.
Yeah, well done, James.
Well done.
Take that.
Congrats to the podium. It was a very good, clean race.
Yeah, no, it was. The boys did well. Everyone kept it pretty clean. So what have we got onto split 2 broadcast tonight, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that starts
on
in a
next.
quarter of an hour. Hang on, we'll just get back to our winners.
Looks like I need to update my thing. It says I'm a privateer.
Yeah,
just go into the driver app and change it over.
Noticed that last week.
Yeah, so yeah, there's our race results. Congratulations to Brian, Mark, and Brenton on the podium.
Another good finish for Matty Monday in 8th as well. Another top 10 finish.
I'm still working out how to scroll down any further than that. Hang on.
Well, Reg in 11th, which is pretty good considering I think he got taken out in the first lap.
Yeah.
He's fought back up to 11. That's a bloody good drive.
Yeah, Bruce done a good drive as well. That Mark Dial, he done pretty well, up 11.
Up 11. Could have been driver of the day.
Unfortunately for Roy there at the end.
Right. Oh well. I think that's about us, isn't it? Yeah. Anybody else have anything else they want to add, or?
No, just looking forward to next week. Hope all the drivers turn up. Be a shame to have people not turn up because they don't know or don't like the track. So
It's compulsory, isn't it?
It's definitely a fun track. It's I'm still trying to get my head around. Every time I crash and to have a tow, I end up on a different spot of the track. So, but yeah, I guess that's just because of the sheer size of it, is it?
yeah, it is a big track.
Yeah, I haven't read any sub rigs or anything yet, but I assume there'll be some sort of. I think I heard them say that there won't be a live pace car. There'll be a
virtual one.
Yeah, virtual one.
Yeah, virtual. And it is like 10 laps, so you could probably, they're going to have to work the fuel. It's going to be an interesting strategy. A lot of interesting strategies if we have to do two stops.
About 4 laps per tank, I think.
Well, that should be a bit of fun, but I suppose the other thing we should probably mention is as much fun as this round was, it was the Balin Stewart round. So hopefully we're able to raise a bit of money and bring a bit of awareness to that as well, because it's heart goes out to Michael and his family for what they've had to go through, and it's nice that we can do something like this and sort of bring a bit of awareness and help keep his memory going.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's cool that we can do something we love doing and show our support to Michael and the family at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't imagine what that would be like to go through, but it's nice to show them that we're all there and thinking of them at this sort of time.
It's great how the vet community all comes together for a great cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Even the short time I've been in the vets community, it's such a great bunch of people and all like-minded. I guess we're all into the same thing. So
yeah, that's right. And I mean, sometimes that causes heats to butt and everything else. But I think at the end of the day, we're all it's worked because of the community itself being as close as it is. So good stuff, everybody.
Well, beautiful, nice broadcast, and good luck everyone for next week.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck everyone for next week, and we'll slowly start chipping away at this broadcast and making it better and better. I've been trying to get that sound right for a while, and it looks like we might have done that. So time will tell. But I'm sure I'll find another couple of things to fix for next week, and we'll just chip away at it until we get it right. But thanks to you guys for coming and joining in, and thanks to everybody out on YouTube. Hope you have a good weekend, and we will see you next week.
See you later.
Yeah.
See you, boys.
Awesome broadcast, AJ.
Yep, well done, mate.